Hey, this is Danny Naylor here at the Institute of Real Estate Education. Got an update for you. The real estate purchase contract approved by the Division of Real Estate in Utah has been updated over the weekend. So this is a change that's going to affect all agents. This is the required form for agents to use if they're setting up an offer on a regular residential piece of property. And in part this is due to some of the changes that due to the NAR lawsuit, but most of the things we've talked about in recent videos have been NAR specific, where NAR has agreed that their members will do certain things to comply with the settlement agreement. But this is a state document approved by the Division of Real Estate, which is a sort of a branch of the Utah government that oversees real estate, and so this is official for everybody. So in the real estate purchase contract, we've added on section 4, let's see, it's down here on page 2, section 4, they've added a new paragraph here called real estate brokerage compensation. This didn't exist before, okay? So it says the seller's compensation contribution to buyer's brokerage. In other words, the seller will be paying commission directly to the buyer's brokerage based on this section of the agreement if something is put in here. So it says seller and buyer agree that seller shall contribute either a percentage of the purchase price or a dollar amount to the buyer's brokerage. Okay, and if no box is checked, then the seller has not agreed to compensate the buyer's brokerage. So if you don't check any box, you could just ignore this section and it doesn't make any difference to the real estate purchase contract. Okay, but if they do check a box, then the seller's agreeing to pay directly to the buyer's brokerage. Now remember, we were talking about often, customarily in the past, there has been an agreement between buyer's brokers and seller's brokerages to pay commissions between each other through the multiple listing service. And since that was gone from the industry, the Division of Real Estate decided it was appropriate to add a provision to the real estate purchase contract to address this. Now UAR, the Utah Association of Realtors, had an addendum already that you could use to add language like this into your real estate purchase contract, but now the actual REPC, the real estate purchase contract, has this clause in here already. Okay. Now something to note is that it says here that the buyer amount that the seller is going to pay is in addition to any compensation agreement between the seller broker and the buyer broker. Okay, similar to the UAR contract. But that's important to note that this doesn't, if they have an agreement between brokerages now, this doesn't replace that or become part of that. This would be in addition to that. So the primary use of this would be if you have a buyer broker, a seller brokerage to buyer's brokerage agreement. If that doesn't cover all of the buyer broker commission that is owed, then you can put the remainder in here if the buyer and seller agree. So if that doesn't quite cover, then this can bump it up so that it does cover. But remember, according to the NAR settlement at least, a buyer broker is not allowed to accept any more compensation than is agreed to in their buyer broker agreement. So this says it would be in addition to any broker to broker compensation, but the buyer broker still can't go above their agreement that they already have, their buyer broker agreement. Okay, and then there's just one other tiny change here, which is in letter F, which used to be letter E. They slightly changed the beginning sentence here to say, instead of just saying that the escrow office is authorized, they now specify that the buyer and seller authorize and direct the escrow closing office to withhold funds at closing from the seller to pay off mortgages, trust deeds, judgments, mechanics liens, tax liens, and they added real estate brokerage compensation and warrants. Okay, so that's the only changes that they've made in this real estate purchase contract. So little short video today, but it's important to know that this is now an official form with the state of Utah, and this is the new required real estate purchase contract. So all agents should be using this new form. It's already available on the Division of Real Estate website, so you can download it now and take a look at it. It's probably updated in the multiple listing services. If not today, then very soon. So you should have access to it. So this is all similar to what we've been talking about with the NAR settlement, but now this one is an official state form that's been updated with a similar purpose. Okay, so hopefully that's enough to understand how to use it, and I've had other videos to talk about kind of questions that might have arisen, so hopefully those are helpful too. So okay, let's get out there and do the best for our clients. Thanks everyone.